of all, I'd like to thank SmartOps for putting on this event. It really does provide a good opportunity to network with other customers and prospective customers. And then I'd like to thank them for inviting me here to share our story within Kohler and our use of the SmartOps toolset. I'm Jason Arnhoelter. I've been with Kohler for about 5 years and have been working with SmartOps in some capacity since 2009. Break. Go. There we go. Today I'm going to give you a brief Kohler company overview, talk to you a little bit about the way we were setting safety stock in the global faucet business within Kohler, talk to you about our MIPO implementation, the way we're setting safety stock today utilizing the SmartOps MIPO toolset, and talk about the lessons we learned along the way, and then, of course, some benefits. A brief Kohler company overview. It was founded by John Michael Kohler in 1873, so we've been around for quite a while. It is a privately held company with its headquarters in Kohler, Wisconsin, and is still ran by the Kohler family today. Current chairman is Herbert Kohler. It is comprised of 50 brands within 4 major business units. Those 4 major business units being kitchen and bath, which is probably the one that people are most familiar with. It's our plumbing products, so bathtubs, sinks, faucets. Global power, interiors, and hospitality. We have more than 50 manufacturing locations worldwide, and we have more than 30,000 employees spread across 6 continents, with more than 18,000 of those employees working and living outside of the U.S. On the right-hand side here are a few of our more notable brands, with the most recognizable one being the Kohler plumbing brand, obviously. For you golf fans, Kohler does own and operate 2 World Championship golf courses in Wisconsin. Black Wolf Run, which has held LPGA Tour events in the past, and Whistling Straits, which has held PGA Tour events in the past and will so in the future, with the most recent being last August. They held the PGA Tour Championship. A couple other brands up for us are Baker Furniture, which is in our interiors business, Lombardini, which is an engine that's in our global power family of businesses, and yes, Kohler does have its own brand of chocolates as well. A little bit more about the global faucet business, which is the business that I'm from. We have 7 different manufacturing locations located in the United States, France, Egypt, China, and India. Our product offering spans across kitchen faucets, bath and shower faucets, showering accessories, shower heads, and bathroom accessories. We have more than 150 suppliers globally. And on the map here, the circles are where our manufacturing locations are, and then the triangles are our distribution network in Europe and Africa. So the way we were, prior to SmartOps, we set safety stock in a very silo-like, regional, in some cases plant-like level. We had different regional business rules within each one of these silos. We set, by and large, only safety stock at a finished good level, and the entire calculation was done in Excel with imported SAP data. So overall, we liked that methodology, and it worked for us. But the end of 2008, early 2009, with the economic downturn and the severe slump in the housing market, Kohler began to look at ways to increase working capital. And one of the ways they went after were inventory reduction, or right-sizing the inventory. So our IT team started looking at softwares that could help us to do this. SmartOps quickly became the front runner, being its strong relationship with SAP and Kohler utilizing SAP, and its track record within the industry. We executed a pilot over a 6-month period of time. So after we evaluated these softwares, the IT team chose the global faucet business within Kohler to execute the pilot. So we did the pilot in 2009, or the proof of value, POV. The pilot consisted of 280 North America finished goods and the components associated with those 280 finished goods. It was probably a larger pilot than you would normally see, but we took the methodology or the approach that we wanted to throw just about everything we could at the tool set to see how it would handle it. So this 280 finished goods were a wide breadth of things, from high volume, low volume, retail customers, wholesale customers. Our primary metric was inventory reduction, and with everything, you need to have a good secondary metric to keep that first one in check. So we chose service level, which within Kohler we utilize LOTIF, or line on time in full. And based on the positive results we saw within the pilot, the decision to buy the software was made in December of 2009. So being that Global Faucets was the business that helped prove the value of this tool, we got first crack at implementing this software, and with our experience in the pilot, we were excited to begin this. Our implementation began in early 2010 and was completed in Q4 of 2010, in that we had the platform and the infrastructure completely built, and we were getting what we deemed were good SmartOps numbers. We were not necessarily totally implemented and utilizing the numbers within SAP across all regions of Global Faucets. We implemented version 6.6, so we're a few behind the current rev, which is 6.8, I believe. We also implemented the DIM, or the Demand Intelligent module, and SIM, the Supply Intelligent module. Our implementation team was small. It consisted of a business lead, which was myself, Bob Scholl, the IT lead, he's also here in the audience, SAP programmers, material managers, regional supply chain managers, and a database manager. Within the pilot, we did something that we had never done before, and that was implement safety stock at our component level. So very early on in our implementation, we made the determination that we were going to feed the entire bill of material into SmartOps MIPO, and then strategically select the nodes within the bill of material where we were going to allow safety stock to be set. So this solution was across our entire bill of material, finished goods, components, and raw materials. The locations that it included are on the right-hand side here. So the manufacturing locations, Kohler, Wisconsin, Sheridan, Arkansas, Reims, France, Beijing, China, and Nanchang, China. Also included the distribution network we have in Europe and Africa of France, Germany, Morocco, and Spain. It did not include India, which itself is just getting up on SAP, and it did not include Egypt, which is our only plant within Global Faucets that is not on SAP. We built the entire interface, or the entire platform, to be compatible with ECC or R3. Global Faucets and Kohler in general does utilize APO, but primarily just demand planning. We are just now getting up within one business on S&P, so this entire interface was built to be compatible with ECC and R3. We had a unique challenge in that we were across 3 different instances of SAP in one business. And not only 3 different instances, 3 different versions. So in North America, we are on ECC 6.0. In China and India, we're on R3.4.7. And in Europe, we're on R3 4.5b. So it created some challenges for our IT team in building the interface programs. So I just wanted to show you what this is one product. It's a network diagram for our Forte standard kitchen faucet up in the right-hand corner here with a side spray in chrome. This product is actually manufactured in 2 different locations, but just sold in the North America market. So it's manufactured in Nanchang, China, and Sheridan, Arkansas. It just paints the picture of what our full supply chain is for one faucet. And we've utilized the NetViz diagrams within our organization to show it to people who aren't necessarily familiar with supply chain, and it's really opened some eyes. Oop. There we go. So I shared with you how we were setting safety stock. So now with SmartOps implemented, we are now analyzing and setting safety stock using one method with a global network perspective. We are applying safety stock to finished goods and strategic components and raw materials. We have the entire process enabled by SmartOps. We're no longer doing calculations in Excel. And the results are reviewed as a global team. We're fully integrated. So we now, instead of doing everything in a silo, we're doing everything together so we understand the impact one region has on the other, because there's a lot of shared componentry across all global locations here. So in the past, we weren't necessarily understanding the full impact we had on each other in terms of setting safety stock. A couple lessons that we learned along the way. We learned that this is not necessarily a plug-and-play tool. This truly does require people who have a complete understanding of their supply chain. For instance, within Global Faucets, we have a set of business rules that says when safety stock can apply to a material, and there's 7 different instances of that. And then we have 16 different instances when we say it cannot apply. So new product that's about to go OB, a product that's going through some kind of change. So you really need to have people to understand and be able to identify those kinds of materials. This clicker is. This one's important. Building trust in the technology. There's a story that I always like to tell about building trust in the technology and how we overcame some of this within our organization. So in the pilot, we had one of our most important products. And every supply chain manager or director has a product they just simply cannot be out of. We have one, which is our right temp showering valve. It's the valve that goes in the wall. During construction, we always say in the wall, you got it all. So this is something we never want to be out of. So we included it on the pilot on purpose. We got the first results from Narjinder when he ran it through the model. And I walked into the supply chain director's office and I said, here, this is what SmartOps is proposing. And he just about fell off of his chair because we were here, SmartOps was way down here. He said, there is no way we're gonna go to that number. So we came to a compromise where we took a step-down approach. So we phased it in over an 8-week period of time. And by the time we got to the 6th week, he bought into it. We had monitored our inventory and our performance over that period of time, and he was happy with it. So we had moved to the SmartOps number, and we never did suffer a service-level impact. So helping to build trust in the technology, pilot definitely helps. And then truly taking the time to understand how the results were arrived at. If you don't do that, you won't build the trust in the technology. So implement with a phase methodology. This is a little bit twofold for us. So I just spoke to you about implementing with a phase methodology when you have a higher or lower stock target stepping up or stepping down to the target. This will minimize your impact for manufacturing operations. But then also what we learned was don't do it all at once. So we went in and we built the network for the entire globe, which I highly recommend. But then implement as a region, but with a global team, is the way to go about it. Because doing it all at once can be a little bit more than you can chew at one time. And the change management aspect of it is quite difficult. And every region has a different set of needs or a different set of knowledge base. And then the last one, a global network truly does bring you global challenges. No longer are we setting safety stock in our little silos or our little, just in our plants. We now have to truly understand and implement the results as a global team so we understand how we're all working together and how one region is impacting another. Benefits. A couple things are the benefits. We realized very early on, and actually during our pilot, that if your supply chain is not operating in your normal variation range, you're not going to see the benefit. If it's operating within normal variation range, you're going to see a benefit, and you're going to see a huge benefit for the tool. We also learned you had to be patient. I think it took us 90 days before we even started seeing any kind of improvement or reduction in inventory or some of these other benefits. One of the benefits here is it requires you to understand your entire supply chain in detail. So because SmartOps wants to know every item, location, combination, it actually becomes a benefit for you and your organization. We did see inventory reduction. Now, because we're a private company, I can't tell you the exact amount of inventory we saved, but I can tell you that with what's happened in the global faucet business, there's some significant excitement to implement this into some of our other businesses across Kohler, and Bob's got that task. We've seen improved or sustained delivery with less inventory. Now we are doing global coordination of stocking points, so again, we're doing everything at a global level in terms of setting safety stocks. We're optimizing all SKU or all materials, regardless of size or importance. So we're no longer just at the finished good, and in some of these locations they're just doing finished good A and B items. We're optimizing it all. So nothing gets left out. And then the last one, supply chain modeling and design, which I believe is a little bit underrated. You heard Narjinder and Leon talk a little bit about it before and doing the what-if analysis. We have found this to be very beneficial within our organization. And in fact, I have an example, a real-life example. So we know that SmartOps can provide the inventory impact on lead time changes. So we had a cost reduction that was driving a supply chain change for this product, which is our Duo strainer, which is the kitchen sink drain or strainer basket. This product is only sold in the United States, and currently we had been sourcing this or all being made in Nanchang, China, our plant in Nanchang, China. And the cost reduction was driving this to be done in Wisconsin. So one of the questions that always comes up from management, and in the past you had other ways of doing this, but what is the inventory impact of this? Oh. There you go. So lead time in this instance goes from 90 to 10 days. Customer delivery expectation stays the same. It's still 7 days. Utilizing SmartOps and the MIPO tool, we were able to come up with a target inventory position with the 90-day lead time, which was about $336,000. And we know that that's actually good because we did a real analysis, and it was like 345 was our actual. So we know that number's good. And then when we changed the lead time to 10 days and then reran the scenario, the actual target inventory position decreased all the way to $74,000. So we had an inventory impact on this change of $262,000, and really helps make this decision even easier for management to make this source change. So really, in end, I'd like to close with SmartOps has been very beneficial for us, very rewarding, but it's also been challenging. Challenging in terms of change management. That's something that definitely takes time. We're still dealing with that within our organization. I can tell you we are fully implemented and utilizing the tool in North America, and we're in varying other degrees of progress in Europe and in China or India, but what we do have is the full network already built. So it's just building that trust and doing the change management. So I'll take any questions if there are any. Otherwise, I think I gained some time. Oh, you got a question over here? How many SKUs? At a finished good level, we have about 16,000 item location combinations. If I had to guess for componentry and raw materials, we're probably close to 80 or 90,000 different location combinations globally. No, we did not. It's all within our plant and our DC level. We've discussed this, but we did not go down that path yet. We've kind of shelved it as a future enhancement. Same thing with suppliers, utilizing suppliers on the front end. Yes? Yes. How do you approach that global accountability? Yeah, so every region is a little bit different. So North America, we are already very centralized in safety stack setting process. the individual planners did not set the safety stock. It was already done at the supply chain level. Europe was the same way. In China, a little bit different. So that's the region that we have the most work left because of the change management. We want to move to a centralized, where it's being fed from the global organization to a designate in each region. But I can tell you it's been a work in progress to do that. It doesn't happen overnight. We do it monthly. Yeah, so we begin our whole process first week of the month. So we allow ourselves time to do the review, and then we're loading the safety stock at the last day of the month. Same day we're updating our sales plan. Different, same team. So actually, I have a kind of a dual role, but within North America, I am the supply planner for North America, and then I'm also the global SmartOps designate. So it usually the safety stock analyzation ends up at the supply planner level in each region. So same team at a supply chain level. You're here. We have our own homegrown solution to do that because of the amount of materials. And I mentioned to you about the business rules we have. You know, we have 6 or 7 that say can set a safety stock, and then we have 17 others say that we cannot. So it's when we set up the SKU in SAP, we set it up to be fed to SmartOps right away. So there's a possibility that you're getting safety stocks on items that you don't want to be setting in SAP. A couple other. Yes, good question. So what we're doing with our time phasing that we get from the output from SmartOps is, so we have a plan that goes out 18 months, so we get 78 values, one for each week. What we do is, because we're running in the beginning of the month and loading at the end of the month, we take weeks 5 through 8, and we take the highest number. A little bit conservative, but that's how we handle the one value. I saw some other hands, yes? It stayed the same. Probably more so stayed the same than improved. Certain products did improve because not all products were we decreasing inventory. We were increasing safety stock on some. Yes. In 2011, so I have all of North America implemented. We have a portion of Europe, and China is a work in progress. We're not quite there. It's way back. Very much so. We were up to purchase the software. The decision had to be made, and a formal presentation was made to David Kohler, who was our Chief Operating Officer. And then the actual contract, I believe, was signed by Herbert Kohler himself, the chairman. So there really is, I talked to the SmartOps guys, and there really is a Mr. Kohler, and he had to make the decision to purchase this. Yes? Yes. Yep. No. Within SmartOps, for the supply variability, we're using SIM on its own, yes. But for supply planning within our business, we utilize, we have CM01 within SAP, and we have some homegrown spreadsheets to do the actual supply portion. I think I saw some other hands. Anyone else? No? Oh. No, we did not. Something we had to keep an eye on. There were a couple products that were very large, and if we have a huge increase, we had to. But it wasn't a huge deal. You know, a faucet, for the most part, is pretty small, and the faucet componentry is very small. It dealt with some of the showering columns in China that are as big as a table here, but. No, it did not. Not in North America or in Europe. It may, to some degree, in China once we really get into that, but at the moment, no. It was, yes.
And you're trying to create a centralized
Right.
planning organization for setting safety stocks and inventory levels.
Right, and so just within the last, I'd say 3 years, we do now have a global faucet supply chain organization. In the past, it was very regionalized. So we're trying to do more and more globally. So now this is one of the first things we're going to kind of do entirely globally, with setting safety stocks. Yes. That went up. So, but it was a lower cost. So overall, our inventory dollars went up there, but it was offset by the larger costs at the finished good level. Yeah. We do source a lot from sister manufacturing companies, or sister plants, yes. And yes, we're setting safety stock in both locations. In the past, we didn't always do that. We always set it at the closest location to the customer. Now we're allowing that if SmartOps says we should, if that's the optimal level. Yes?
With the increased precision that you get with SmartOps, did it force lead you to look at other areas of your network?
Definitely. I mean, there's always things that when you get in the SmartOps calculation and you're going, well, why is this number so high? You find out that your sales planning process for a certain product group isn't very good. And you must improve that or you're going to be carrying a lot of inventory. Your CVs were quite high on a certain product, and we did see that.
You talked about you reduced your finished goods, but you increased your raw material.
Yes.
Component inventory. Have you seen any productivity gains in the factory for us running out of parts cause the factory, downtime or overtime, et cetera? Now that you're planning safety stock back to that level, have you seen improved throughput through the factory?
Slightly. One thing that we are still kind of doing is, when you have now setting and you're going to hold inventory at certain levels in your bill of material, you have to kind of set up a store for that. In the past, they weren't used to holding any inventory there. So it was just moved on to the next level in the bill of material, and it went on and on. So we're seeing some improvement, but overall, we've been able to just keep our delivery constant. You mean for our interface? Yeah. And we have to make a change to the SmartOps interface. It's all done in-house. Kohler has an extensive IT organization both in the U.S. and China and India that they utilize to do this. I think they got some in Europe too, right, Bob? Okay. Yes, way in back. Yep. Once a month. Beginning of the month, we run it. We load the values end of the month in conjunction with our sales plan or new refresh. Yes? Uh-huh. Yeah, well, I mean, we're always doing that in conjunction with other things. So we do that. So right away when we're out of an item and our service level is suffering, the first couple of things you look at is your sales plan, right? And then was your safety stock too low? Well, if your sales plan or your forecast was too low, your safety stock was going to be too low because your safety stock calculated off of that. So we've done some analysis, but not real extensively, specifically for that purpose. Yes?
Do any of your products have shelf life considerations?
Yes.
And if so, how do you manage that on an exception basis if it provides an answer that kind of exceeds your shelf life?
So good question. At a component level within a faucet, we have a polished buff brass, which is done before it's plated, and we cannot hold it at that level or it's going to oxidize. So what we've chosen to do is that's one of our levels where we're not holding safety stock. We don't allow SmartOps to calculate there. So it's going to be held at an upper or lower level, so either at a casted level or a machine level or a plated level or chrome plated level or brushed chrome. All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jason Arnhoelter from Kohler.
Thank you.
And Jason, not a lot of supply chain professionals get this, but we've seen this performance increase that you've done, so good job.
Thank you. Thank
You got to get some congratulations for that. Okay, we've got one more presentation before lunch. So, Dave, I guess it's your challenge to get us into lunch. Dave Winstone from Dow, everyone. Please give him a warm welcome.